Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Deck Save Taldorei adventures. It is trying times in these quarantine days, and we are back on Tabletop Simulator to try and play a little bit of D&D. I'm Andrew Lightwood, and I'm your DM in this crazy adventure. And around the table, we've got Will.
Yeah, sure. I'll go first since I'm sitting over here in the corner around the table opposite of you. Name's William Marlowe. I'm playing Morzog, the orc fighter, who's taking a cat nap, according to his thing.
This is Brianna Harris. I'm playing Note, the hero.
I'm Jonah. I'm playing the Dragonborn Paladin Garm.
I am Colton Coleman, and I am playing the Monster Hunter Ranger Arctis Noctis.
And I'm Caleb Lightwood, and I play Elrana Nagaranwin, the Water Genasi Druid.
And last we left off, if I'm not mistaken, our party of adventurers have made it to the large port city of Iman, where they were able to take a little bit of a tour after employing a guide who saw an opportunity to make some easy coin off of newcomers in the city. A few of you guys split off and kind of just did your own thing, but I know that Garm and Elrana stuck with the tour guide and got to see the city a little bit. After some exploration, a little bit of shopping, and Morzog took a really well-deserved nap, they saw the city, and it was pretty much kind of a shopping episode a little bit. Also, Morzog had a strange encounter with these crystals that they had been collecting from destroying the automatons that they have found on their adventures. Thrown through a starscape of what seems like time and space, he was gifted with a special power that lasted for 24 hours or so. And he saw some odd a vision of this hollow geometric shape, this wireframe dodecahedron type of item sitting inside of a cold cave, with no idea the science he had really been given, and just kind of trying to get to where they were going. He had kind of put it off on the side table until he could get some answers. But they had made it to Iman, and it did some exploring and some shopping, and now they are sitting restfully in the tavern of the Laughing Lamia, somewhere in Abadar's Promenade, with a new day ahead of them. I believe you guys actually were just walking out the door trying to figure out exactly what you guys are going to do.
We were starting to search for anyone with answers.
We're gonna go to the blacksmith first.
Yeah.
The Anvil Gate.
You're writing a letter because you wanted more pancakes.
I remember that.
Excuse you.
Is there an eating
Status condition?
status effect? Is
I
that
don't
a
know.
is that a can't move? Hang on, I got you.
Can't move too many pancakes.
Where is
Or incapacitated food coma.
Stunned.
Pancakes do that to me too. Not gonna lie.
Can we just do
Like, you eat
enlarged? Lol.
some good pancakes and they get like, stuck to your ribs.
here we go.
You're like, I'm not doing shit for the rest of the day.
Oh, see, I was just gonna do enlarged.
Just put fatigued.
There you go. Yeah. Temporarily fatigued for pancakes.
Okay. There we are. All right. So within the Abadar's Promenade, you guys head a few blocks over from the Laughing Lamia to a small kind of dark wood building with a little wooden sign hanging from a metal pole sticking out of the wood that is just just a carving of an anvil. That across it just says the Anvil Gate. It's all one word, by the way. Anvil Gate. It's one word. Ow, fucking hell! I have something in my eye.
Not to interrupt the DM, but who the heck am I supposed to be writing a letter to?
What's his nuts? Percy.
Yeah, you were writing a letter to Percy.
Titled
So I'm
Dear
writing-
What's His Nuts.
So I'm writing a letter to someone that I do not know, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Pretty much.
Okay.
Because this is more of just of letting him know what happened kind of thing.
Okay, that's all I'm supposed to be doing is letting him know.
Yeah, that What's His Nuts is dead.
What's his nuts? I don't know who
The guy we were escorting.
Oh,
You know him. Yeah, Durin. I have that wrote down somewhere, I'm sure. I was never a fan of Durin. Yeah, right there. That we were ambushed on the road.
Okay, got it.
So, as you make your way to this dark wood room, you can hear inside the sound of pinging metal on metal, which is typical of most blacksmiths that you approach. And as you
Irana flinches every time.
as you come up to the to walk inside, you can see a small dwarven woman with a little bit of stubble along her chin and jaw, who is currently hammering out what looks like a shield. She's got dark brown hair that kind of is kind of short, but is kind of pulled back into like a little bit of a ponytail. Just sweaty, dirty, hammering away at this. She sees you guys walk in and just kind of gives you a, oh, 1 second, and just starts, trying to make the final little touches. And you guys can see on the walls different works of hers: short swords, small suit of armor, shields and axes, just various different kinds of like weapons and armaments. And she hammers a few more times onto the shield before she puts it down into a barrel where you can hear the loud of the heated metal being quenched. She sets it over on a side table before approaching your group and sorry about that. So, what can I help you with?
Do you still have those arms in your pack, Morza?
I do. Well, sure. We'll kick it off. We'll just go right into it. I'll walk up to her and ask if she's worked on or has or know of anyone who has the skill to produce these, and I'll show her one of the bladed arms.
So you pull out the bladed arm, the
Yeah.
kind of at this point hollowed out, the hollowed out gauntlet like appendage of the automaton, the mechanism for the sword that pops out of its arm, still not like functional, but like it's still intact. That makes sense.
It's stuck.
Yeah. So she takes it and kind of inspects it, and this is odd, to say the least. I've never met anything like this before, and this looks like some tinker business. I mean, I could hammer out these parts, but
I'm more interested in knowing who would have the skill to put this together.
and she kind of thinks for a second, scratches the stubble on her along her jawline, and nobody that I know of. I don't know a lot of tinkerers, and
You know of any tinkers? You said you don't know a lot. I just need one name to start. I need a tinkerer.
well,
Should maybe point us in the right direction here.
the one that I would know of is Percy.
I'm backtracking that far. Don't make me backtrack that far. I will murder hobo this entire town.
That'd be the,
Other than Percy don't know shit. Someone here, a tinkerer here.
We need more than one person named Percy.
she has a point, but no, she's referring to Percy Dorolo.
Yeah.
Is there like a group of tinkers here? There's a school for everything here, surely.
I mean, tinkering isn't
A
really
teacher or
taught in schools per se. It's still kind of a new thing.
It's a craft.
The way this is set up is mostly, pretty rudimentary gauntlet type, but somebody's made and she starts like showing the flap that pops open and then slides the blade out, but the what little mechanism went inside to make it actually pop out is has been pulled out from the hollowing. I mean, like I said, I only know the one, unfortunately.
So you know of 0 tinkerers in town.
In town.
What about something that's not quite above the board here?
What you mean? Are you,
Could you put us
People who sell things they probably shouldn't have or be selling.
I'm not in any kind of business. I'm not in any
We
kind
wasn't, we wasn't accusing you of being any kind of
Inside
business, but people talk.
of.
You've heard rumors. I know you have. A city this big, there has to be.
Insight?
Sure.
Insight?
Sure. Go ahead and make an insight.
Oh.
A 4. Oof. Plus.
8.
she seems like she's being as honest as possible. I know you're not accusing. I don't do any business with the Clasp. I don't know anybody in the Clasp. And
But see, you know of it.
well, everybody knows of the Clasp. They run this fucking seedy underbelly of this entire town.
Let's see,
What
now
about
we're
people
getting
who
somewhere.
have been here for, half a day?
After that fucking dragon attacked, they're actually the ones who helped rebuild the city, from what I hear.
Now,
Good guy, mafia.
not saying you know where to find them, but what part of the city would you avoid if you were trying to avoid the Clasp? Where's their little territory at?
She giggles, and their territory is Amon. There is nowhere you can walk in the city that they don't know.
So you're telling me I step out this door and start hollering, I'm gonna find them?
I mean, you're welcome to try. I don't know their ways. I just know that they are everywhere.
I'm gonna night raid this shit.
NVG goggles and a great sword.
Mm-hmm. I have dark vision. It counts.
Fucking, I'm down.
I'm sorry I couldn't be more help.
I'm sure you are. Let's
What's your name again?
Karen.
Is that with a C or a K?
With a K.
no
K-A-R.
wonder we're not getting fucking anywhere.
Hey,
Fuck
you know
you.
what? You given us more than we had. So thank you.
Fucking Karens.
Dragon looks around, suddenly realizes everybody in this party is a huge dick.
Pretty
Well,
much.
I am. But you know. All right, let's step outside and figure out what we're doing next.
So,
She waves you off. Have a nice day. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Good luck.
question.
Yes.
Being a rogue and having a copy of the map that he gave, would I be able to infer possibly the shadier side of town?
We going south side across the tracks, kind of thing.
So, what was your background?
My background was sage.
Okay, so as a sage, that'd be weird. Okay, I'll say this: make an intelligence check.
Did the right dice.
Uh-oh. Who's moving pieces of the board now?
There's a- What is this?
There's probably a hidden
Yeah.
something on the map.
I picked up the 20. I should figure out what he did.
Oh, this is somebody's spell cards.
Fletcher.
Oh, yeah. They plop down on the map. Huh. Interesting.
I rolled a 13.
A 13. Yeah, you wouldn't really know exactly. Being new to the city, and you've read things on Amon and how, like, how it's I'll say, like, it's imports and it's exports, it's dealings, and a little bit of the history of it, but as far as like the location of its criminal organization, you wouldn't really have an idea.
Then my suggestion, we go to a pawn shop, because pawn shops are a purveyor of all kinds of goods, and possibly they know where less, where black market goods would end up going, I think.
Well, we were also gonna go by the Lyceum
Yes.
to see if they could recognize the symbol, because they're supposed to be, you know, all knowing people.
Alternatively, that tour guide said something about people getting mugged in the middle of the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the tour. What if we were to get mugged? Air quotes.
I was having that thought.
So,
You know, just have one of our frailer looking characters out and about on their own.
Well, I can wander
On their
around
own.
and pretend to be unarmed.
after
You're
You're
like
a big guy.
6'4".
Yeah, but I mean, I can hunch and I can make myself look,
Colton,
tasty, I'm sure.
what are you saying?
after finishing the letter, I would like to first, obviously, find some place to send it.
Well, real quick, go ahead and roll a charisma check, or let's do performance. Yeah.
Performance?
Yep.
God,
Yeah.
that's gonna be bad.
Uh-huh.
Come on, roll well. That did not roll well. I'd say 5.
5. Okay.
I even went through the trouble of actually trying to pin a letter.
Not knowing who this is, and just kind of doing the best you can. You craft a letter to this Percy that they had described, and have not necessarily like proud of your creation, but good enough. You seal it up in an envelope.
Okay. Do I lick the envelope?
I mean, do you want to lick the envelope?
Roll for Constitution check for paper cut.
I'm gonna roll an attack roll now for the envelope.
For having to taste that nasty freaking.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that can't be good.
I rolled a. You said Constitution?
He said Constitution. I didn't say
I said
Constitution.
Constitution. I was fucking with you.
Dirty 20.
Oh my god.
So I succeed in not getting a paper cut?
Sure.
Take those.
We take those dirty 20s.
Small victories.
Alright.
For a 5, I needed a good roll.
Yeah.
Alright, so you leave the Laughing Lamia to pursue someone to deliver the letter.
And then after that, I would like to go ahead and see if I can find a temple of Ayun.
So, okay.
I don't have this prepared.
No, it's not that. Actually, the thing that I don't have prepared is you delivering the letter. Okay, so
Okay.
here's what we're gonna do. So you head down, looking for a postman, we'll say, a letter carrier, and as you walk out into the crowd of the ever busy city of Iman, you are hit with that same feeling as you were the other day, where you go back to being small because there is a lot of people here. A few of them are kind of giving you passing looks from your right. People are giving you kind of weird passing looks as they see your slightly more hairy than normal form. And you walk through and have you see a guy walking around in a dark blue kind of uniform-esque type of scenario with a large satchel over like one shoulder across his torso that is currently taking pieces of paper and arranging them into his bag.
Does his bag say TPS on the side?
Taldorei Postal Service. It doesn't say anything, but you gather from letter carriers you had seen in your hometown that this is another one of those.
Okay, so I go ahead and walk up to him, and whenever he is actually like able to talk, he's not taking any letters or anything, or not ruffling through his stuff. I get his attention and say, could you please deliver this to wherever the hell Percival lives? Because I wasn't there.
So you hand over the letter, and he reads who it's addressed to, and all the way to Whitestone. Hang on one second, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a little like sheet of parchment, and he's like looking through. He's does some math in his head. That's a long way. That's gonna be like a 2 gold trip.
Alright, I go ahead and pay him 2 gold.
Oh wow, thanks. He puts the parchment back in his pocket and takes your letter and slips it into his bag. I'll get that to him right away. Oh, nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Please get that to Percival right away. It's of utmost importance.
Will do. And he starts walking through the crowd again, off to take care of, the rest of his business.
Alright.
And then what was the other thing you said?
I wanted to head to a temple of Ayun.
Okay. Did you did not stick around for the tour, did you not?
No, he wanted the dirty mags.
Yeah, I got the dirty mags instead. Well, I didn't get a dirty mag. I got a book on Kama Sutra. So I'm gonna have some knowledge about,
Anyway,
things my character is too scared to do.
so you ask around to a few of the people about a Ionian temple. Roll a persuasion check.
Fuck. Here we go. Oh, that's not bad. That's a 17.
So that'll work. You catch the attention of a passerby who you ask about an Ionian temple, and they go, "Well, I don't know the exact location, but I know that it'll be over in the temple district." And so they give you the instructions on how to get to the temple district the easiest way.
I keep trying to roleplay and you cock block me.
I'm doing it for the
Go on.
I got a split party. I got to do it for the sake of brevity.
Yeah, you gotta speed it up. You're good.
So they give you the instructions on how to get to the temple district, and you start making your way there.
And back to the other party.
So,
The blacksmith.
right. So the rest of you have left the blacksmith and are now let's see.
Oh, we split up again.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Divide and conquer.
Divide here.
So you walk out of the anvil gate and don't feel any closer to the thing you were looking for than before.
Well, of course, fucking not. She didn't know jack shit. Probably.
Distant cousins or some shit.
So where is it you would like to go now?
I suggest a pawn shop, but we also have other places to check.
Because regardless of whether or not, attempt to get mugged, that's not until later.
Not until later.
Might as well do something.
Garm and Elrana, you would know that here in the promenade, as you were showed on the tour, there is the Anvil Gate, which is what was described as the best blacksmith in the area. There is the Laughing Lamia and the Dragon's Rest, both of which are inns and taverns and kind of rival each other, but are on opposite sides of the promenade. There is the shop that says Gilmore's Glorious Goods. There's the residential district, or the central district. There's the Cloud Top, which holds the government of Iman. These.
Question. Would you be opposed to me having the maps in front of me? Since I have it?
No. I don't think it would be.
Okay, it wouldn't be a problem?
No, I don't think so. If anybody wanted to pull up a map of Iman on their computer, they can.
Alright, and I have to take the dog out because he's whining that he has to poo.
Sure.
Because your guys are phone. Yeah. Oh no, I actually have plans for things that I want to do at the temple, but we'll get to that after you guys do your thing.
So, anyway, these are all options to you that are not outside of your reach, as far as you know.
Good store.
I have. He might get things he's not supposed to get, or might overhear things from deliveries.
Well, whatever y'all think would be the best next place to go.
I mean, we can always just look for a seedy underbelly random place that sells questionable goods on our way to the Lyceum.
Works for me.
You're telling me that's not going to be obvious? Yeah.
Didn't she say these people helped rebuild the city? What reason would they have to be just kind of out but selling?
Are you saying that out loud, or are you thinking that to yourself?
I said that out loud.
Okay.
Well, while it's being discussed, I'd like to look around and see if I see any shady characters or pickpockets.
Okay, go and make a perception check.
Perception. It is 7. So, 22.
Okay. You don't see any. Well, that was really loud. You don't see any shady figures per se, but you do spot like a group of like children who are trying to. You notice them trying to get into the bag of someone who's not paying attention. Trying to pick up a few coin or something from their purse, and they end up making off with a handful and are now running away from this this older adult gentleman who's just screaming, "Hey, get back here, you kids!"
This would be a good time if we were all together. Then I could ask our friend Arctis to put a hunter's mark on me. Does anybody else have anything to track me so I could go hunt, chase down some kids and see where they end up?
No.
I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, that's just a me thing.
Darn.
You can try. You never know how the dice will roll.
So
Do I split the party? Or does
More.
anybody want to go chase some kids?
Oh, I'm all for chasing kids. But I probably won't do it very well.
You saw some kids steal some shit.
I'm gonna tell them, well, it's, cartel and stuff, they use beggars and kids to do the dirty stuff sometimes. Not that kind of dirty stuff.
Rah, rah, rah. Stealing is wrong. Paladin, rah, rah, rah.
Well, then let's go smite some children.
Children smiting. Yes!
What the shit? Smite children, really?
I'll smite a child.
And the murder.
and just like that, we're yeah.
I'm gonna have to re-roll a whole new character just to be able to fit in with the party.
Well, I'm for following the children.
You can fucking.
Yeah, let's follow the children. I mean, why not?
We got a map, we can find our way back.
Sure.
Are we following?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, because you have sat and discussed it, I want everybody to make a perception check then.
I'm not there.
Except for Arctis.
Can I for just shits and giggles?
That's super.
With bonuses, that's 13.
Whale.
11.
And I rolled a 17.
11, 12, 17,
13.
13.
Had I been there, it'd
And
have
that's
been 16.
Will, what'd you get?
13.
13? Oh, okay. Alright, so note you pick up on the kids again and point it out to the rest of the party. And you all are now in pursuit of two small children with a handful of gold being chased by a large man. Are you trying to be inconspicuous or no?
I don't think that's an option with our party.
Probably best if I go with no. But I mean, I could try. You just have to imagine Poe from like movie 2 when he's trying to hide from the,
Right.
making his way through town. Yeah, that's me trying to hide. So
No,
Right.
No snake, only smirk.
yeah.
Okay, so you all are now in hot pursuit, moving through the crowd, pushing people out of the way, just hauling ass down the road. The other guy eventually has, at this point, gave into the burning in his lungs and the exhaustion, and is like stopping, like, get back here. And you guys are able to push right past him and are gaining on these two children who are weaving in and out of people and streets and up and down alleyways.
Oh wait. Damn.
Yeah.
How close are we to him?
With your guys' speed and the fact that you're not being stealthy about it, you guys are probably about 30 feet away from him.
I'm gonna molder the hole.
Okay.
So we don't have to chase them any further. I'll just molder the hole underneath them.
Okay. They are going to make dexterity saving throws to see if they land on their face. That one's a no. And that one succeeds, actually.
Well, he has to scramble out of a 5-foot hole, so.
So, the hole appears beneath their feet, and they go, oh, excuse me.
Splat.
They go tumbling down into it. Say it's 5 foot deep. They go tumbling down into it, and you just hear, ow! You guys look down, and you see two children, about maybe 8, 9 years old. Kind of not very well taken care of clothes, kind of dirty and ragged. One of them is a girl with brown hair, kind of loose hanging down around her shoulders, and the other is a boy with kind of hair that seems to be getting a little wild. It's taken some banana curl to it, and it's just kind of poofy around the face and the head. If you imagine Chad from Bleach as a kid, that's pretty much it. And one of them is, the girl is trying to...
Devil?
Huh? The girl is trying to help the boy up. Come on, we gotta go. And the boy's holding his head going, where'd the hole come from?
Hold on a minute, kids.
They look back and see your Kenku form and are now like not really having much exposure, kind of like holding each other and looking at you in fear as your beak protrudes from under the hood. Oh, are you gonna eat us?
Thinking about it.
You used to be the paladin.
It's a joke.
Well, I mean, it is a weird cacophony of characters that's chased them this far. Considering none of us are human.
We're willing to pay for information. Need a hand out of the hole. One
Information on what?
They're called.
Class.
Class.
What did I call them? The class.
Clap.
I knew it was wrong.
Close enough.
um. At this point, you've got them scared enough to where they are, still holding each other. Like, the clasp? We don't know anything about the clasp. We're kids. We just picked a bit of coin because we're hungry.
I produce a good berry. It's actually a handful of good berries, but
Well, they're in a 5-foot hole, unless you're climbing down or helping them out.
I can just reach down and hand in the good berries.
You can do that too, I guess.
3-foot reach. They have like what 2-foot reach? That's 5.
Just throw them down to him. It's fine.
Here, if you're hungry, eat these.
They both
She chucks berries at them.
they both take
I toss them. I eat one to show them that there's nothing wrong with them.
they take
Even though I
small little handfuls and just start like scarfing them in their mouth. Like,
you only need one.
they get at this point they've had like 2 or 3 and they just kind of like stop eating.
It'll keep you full for the whole day.
They just kind of are staring at between the variety of characters set before them, and they just kind of, well, I mean, if you want information on the class, we don't have any. I mean, we were just trying to get money for food.
Well, if we help you out of this hole, can you promise not to run? We're not gonna. I mean, we're not here to eat you or anything, but trying to find some information. And kids are. Sometimes you'll notice something, or adults, so better seen than not. Better seen, not heard.
Yeah, sure.
I help them out.
Yeah, I'll try to help them out.
Okay, they're 8-9-year-old kids. They're not that heavy, so it's easy enough for even someone with a 10 strength to help them out.
I could just mow the earth and pull them up.
Well, hopefully you're gonna fill the hole back in, and you're not just gonna leave a giant 5-foot hole in the middle of the city.
It's a thought.
The city guard is looking down and like going, "What the fuck happened here?"
It's a sinkhole. It happens.
There's all kinds of letters being sent to the fucking mayor about the pothole. No one does anything about it in the city. They just cover it with a tarp.
Fucking Illinois infrastructure.
Pretty
real.
much.
So you help the kids out, and they just kind of are pretty much standing there at your disposal. You had told them not to run, so they're just kind of chilling. What?
Yeah, okay, paladin time. I grab the kids. We're going back to the old man they stole from. I am, with the kids.
Okay. So you, are you being forceful with them, or because they're not running?
They're running.
They can walk. They can't outrun us. I'll just put them in another hole. We don't need to drag them.
Yeah, there's no. It's like a suggestion. Like, yeah, just kind of nudging them along.
All right. So you kind of push them in the direction back toward the guy that you had passed by earlier. And at this point, you kind of meet him halfway as he had given up on running and is now like fast walking, trying to get through the crowd to find these kids. And he's a human with kind of medium length brown hair.
Does he look like he does well for himself?
I wouldn't say like he doesn't look rich. He looks like he's wearing a simple tunic and breeches, and he's got a satchel over his shoulder, and
So middle class.
yeah, pretty much.
So does he see me with these children?
Yeah, as you weave through the crowd and you guys end up meeting face to face, and he's just kind of like, "You two little shits," and he looks up at you guys and goes, "Did they steal from you too?"
No. Just I nudged the kids as like they're here to apologize and return what they stole.
Roll intimidation.
Roll intimidation. I could fucking. I say that and I put my hands on their shoulders and it's like a reassuring touch.
Uh-huh.
So you want me to do intimidation?
Mm-hmm.
Is it intimidation towards the children, or does the guy not to hold, make a big deal out of this? Just a general intimidating aura.
Just
It's a 21.
goddamn. The kids kind of, their heads dip down and they kind of take a couple of steps forward, and you see one of them reach into a little pocket in the shirt and pull out the small little handful of what looks like 2 silver and a couple of copper, and just kind of, "We're really sorry we stole from you," and hands the coin back to the guy. And he is a little taken by surprise as he's like, "Oh, okay," and he takes the coin back and puts it back in his purse and just thank you, and like looks to all of you and is like, "Thank you for returning my coin."
Does this matter look like it's settled?
Yeah, he seems happy. The kids seem a little disappointed because they lost their coin, but
Alright. Look at the guy, no problem at all. Wave my hand at him.
he waves his hand back at you and gives.
I kneel down, turn towards the kids, blah blah blah, paladin, stealing bad, blah blah blah.
You're doing great, bud.
And because they didn't fucking fight me over this, they each get a gold piece.
Jesus. Okay.
I'm fucking rich, I don't care.
So, okay. You hand them both a gold piece and you see their eyes get really big. And they're just holding the gold piece in their hand like it's fragile. And are like they probably have never seen an actual gold piece ever in much less in their possession. And you have nonchalantly just like dropped one in their hand.
You two are kind of decent at stealing. Let's put that effort towards something a bit more productive here.
They both stare at you and just shake their head really, or nod their head really slow.
Alright, I hand them each that gold piece. I pat them on the head, and we're fucking done here. Or I'm done here. Y'all want to question the kids? That's your business. I buttered them up.
I kneel down towards the kids. Getting on their level kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, People often ignore children, and they can see things that other people can't. So, how's about, since my friend was really nice, to give you guys a whole gold piece, that you do a favor for us?
They stare at you and see your kind of floating hair that and your lightly blue skin, and are just at the, they've seen two things that they've never seen before now at the same time, and are still in that perplexed state. So they just look at you and nod their head slowly, just kind of eyes wide.
Now, can either of you read?
Both of them shake their head.
Okay. Have you ever seen a symbol that looks like this? And I show them the symbol for that we've been fucking looking for.
They look at it, and both look at each other and look back at the symbol, and both shake their head.
Insight check.
Go ahead and insight check. What?
15.
15? They seem like they're telling the truth.
Well, if you could do me a favor and go around and look for a symbol that looks like this. If you find something like this, don't approach it. Don't go anywhere near it. Just come back to this little place right here, and I point to the inn we're at,
Okay.
and then ask for Ilrana.
One of them goes, Ilrana, to themselves, like trying to confirm the name.
What's your names?
Well, I'm Audrey, and this is Jake, my little brother.
Run along now. Be careful.
Yeah,
Remember what I
watch for
said.
the hole.
Don't touch it or approach it. Just come back and tell me where it is.
They both shake or nod their head, and then
Before they go, also if you want some tips on some better pickpocketing, just let me know. But no, quietly to the side so the paladin doesn't catch on.
As long as I didn't hear that, there's not a problem.
okay. Make a stealth check.
She fucking got it.
Well,
Yeah.
what's your passive
22.
perception?
Oh, she got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say this early on, the passive perception can't be that high.
Okay, so you whisper this, and they both kind of, do a little giggle and take their gold coin in hand and take off running.
We have birdies now.
Arctis, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I haven't forgotten about you, but you're still walking
You're
through.
good.
You're still walking through the city. It's a big city.
Yep, you're good, man. It's with the party. I know how it goes.
All right, so you now have two little birdies among the crowd.
What was the little girl's name again? Sorry.
Audrey.
Audrey.
Somebody's getting there for Sarah somewhere. Or wait, no. What?
Yeah, wasn't it Viserys?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I had the name right? Oh
Huh?
my god, wow, I haven't read that in a couple of years. So yeah, whenever I get to the temple, just let me know.
Sure.
I'm okay if you want to switch to temple for a little bit.
Say if you guys need a little bit of time to figure out what to do next, then I can jump.
Or we're going to the Lyceum.
Oh, okay. If that's is that what party 2, is that what you're all are doing, or heading to the Lyceum?
Fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that for now.
The one good deed has been done. Back to the story.
Okay.
Where is
Giving small children the equivalent of $100.
Yeah.
When I said I'm rich, I don't give a fuck. I meant it.
somebody's got a rich mommy and daddy?
Okay.
No, I have no idea how he got his money. I was being sarcastic. I have not perception checked him yet. I should.
Zoe.
Have to do to find out things about him. And insight checks.
Alternatively, you can ask, and he'll tell you.
Stuff like that yet. Where? So, what's going on? Is the party? You guys are going to the Lyceum?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that at? Which district?
Sorry.
I'm trying to figure out where we're at. in
The
relation to each other.
the Lyceum is in the erudite quarter, which is basically their center of higher education. It's where all their schools are, their colleges, and the Alabaster Lyceum.
Yeah. Okay. Which is where it is. All right. Yep. Let's do this.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. I thought I was just misreading. So you, okay, so Arctis, you end up making it finally past the walls of the Temple District. And as you're looking around, the Temple District has every kind of temple to most of the or to all of the prime gods, but the two biggest ones are to Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon, and the Lawbearer. But there is a small Ionian temple, which, as you approach it, you from the directions you were given, as you approach it, it is actually a library. The people coming in and out and wandering around the building are something that you had seen back in Western, Cobalt Soul monks, who are coming in and out of the building and traveling in groups, discussing with each other, and a few other people seem to be, the quote-unquote scholarly types seem to be making their way inside as well. And as you kind of go inside the actual, are you going inside?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you're going inside, the temple doesn't look like a temple at all. Like, your first image is, something that you had seen a couple of times in Vasselheim and in passing, where it's like, you know, a big open space with like some pews and maybe like a statue or some kind of shrine. And you walk in here and it's just a library, just books lining the walls and tables where people can sit and do research um, or just read. Uh, there are multiple people being escorted by the Cobalt Soul monks to go from shelf to shelf to help find whatever it is they're looking for. And you currently stand in the foyer of this um, kind of uh, dark wood building, staring at shelves of books.
Yeah. I approach one of the monks.
Sure.
Um,
You see uh, a halfling in the uniform, the robes of the Cobalt Soul, who is currently putting a few scrolls back into the cubby in which they are needed or are supposed to go in. Sorry. And are currently getting ready to put a book back where it went. And as you're approaching, yes, how can I help you?
hello. My name is Arctus. I am a member of the Tank, and I am here on some business. I go ahead and I just kind of raise my sleeve a little bit to prove that I am a member.
Okay. As you show the mark of the take, they kind of, you know, they adjust the spectacles that are currently sitting on the end of their nose to get a better picture, and just, I see. Well, what is it that I can help you with on your business?
I go ahead and reach into my pack and I pull out the crystal.
Okay.
And I explain to him, me and my fellows that I traveled with here, are trying to find out any information that we can about this crystal, maybe where it came from, someone who could have made this.
Also, side note, whenever you acquired this crystal, it had been like glowing, just slightly, not brightly, just kind of like a slight glow to it, and it is now dull.
It's now dull.
And it's no longer glowing. It's still kind of like an opalescent like color. It's still white, and as you turn it, the light kind of reflects like the rainbow a little bit on it, but it doesn't glow anymore. But anyway, you present the crystal. Um, the halfling kind of takes the crystal and like turns it over in their hands and holds the same property as an opalescent gem, but is crystalline form. If you'd like, you can follow me, and I will show you to some of our tomes on um, gems and crystals, and we'll see if we can't find a difference or a similarity.
Your mic might turn off again.
Colton?
Oh, he needs to disconnect and reconnect.
Discord being Discord right now.
Well, it happens once in a while. It was happening during Skylar's shit too. Not his, but someone else's.
I'll go ahead and send him a message really quick. Okay. Well, just to keep us going, since he needs to fix himself, we'll go back to Group 2, who is on their way to the Erudite Quarter to go to the Alabaster Lyceum. So as you walk through the streets of Iman, you end up in the Erudite Quarter, which is the Center for Higher Learning in Iman. And as you walk through, it's a lot of the buildings here are a little bigger, mostly because a lot of them are, or the biggest ones here are.
There it goes.
There you are.
Sorry about that. I thought that was going on your end. I have no idea. You were in the middle of talking and then it just cut out on me.
What did you catch?
The last thing I heard was nothing actually, pretty much. Like I heard you. I was talking to you, and yeah, I don't even remember what we were saying because I was messing with this damn thing.
Okay. Well, he looked at the crystal and basically took you through the library to find books on gemstones, crystals, and something of the like to be able to sit down and research.
Well, I was also going to explain to him what this had came out of, that it was out of these automatons, and was looking for more information on. Yeah, it couldn't have cut out at a worse time for me. Like I actually had a plan.
Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't. You tell him about the automatons and how that, how the crystal had been inside them, and it doesn't change his answer, if that helps any.
Okay, so I'm gonna be looking through some books.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so just real quick, you guys have made it to the Erudite Quarter, while Noctis has made it to the Temple District and is currently researching the crystal that he has. And as you are walking through, the larger buildings, which are the schools that dot this entire place, are currently being filled with their students who walk through the campuses and are going from class to class, or or ending the day, or what have you. And among the courtyards are various lush trees and grasses. You see a few caretakers who are making sure that the grounds stay prim and proper, and you from this point can see the largest building here in this entire district is the Alabaster Lyceum, and it gets its name for being exactly that, alabaster. It is a humongous building that's kind of L-shaped and takes up damn near a whole block. And as you pass by one of the courtyards of this school that's kind of off to the side, walking toward the Lyceum, you hear what sounds like, that sound of like a tree falling, and you can hear the bark breaking as it falls.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that off to the side. This loud just and as you like kind of just look off to where the noise is coming from, you see that there isn't a tree falling. There's a tree opening. This large tree that sits in one of the courtyards has split open down the middle, making a hole in the bark that is about 6 feet tall and about 4 feet wide. And instead of seeing darkness through this hole, you see a snowy landscape. And stepping out of the tree is a man with white hair and a long navy blue coat that for those who had been to Whitestone previously recognize as Percy DeRollo, followed by others. A woman in a green dress, long red hair, a crown of antlers sitting on top of her head, and a long kind of cape or cloak-like setup that looks like it's made of autumn leaves. Both of them walk out of this tree, and as they step foot in the grass of the courtyard, the tree seems to kind of like sew itself back together. And Percy sees your group and kind of like waves at you as he approaches with his companion. Ilrana.
Who says that?
Nobody says that. I say that. Ilrana, you recognize the woman.
I would recognize both of them.
Oh yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. I'll say you're more familiar with the woman than you are the man, but regardless, you haven't seen them, both of them in years at this point. But approaching you is Percy DeRollo and the voice of the Tempest. Percy approaches you, your group, and seems you've made some new friends. To Morzog.
Percy's here?
Seemingly.
I just sent the letter.
Yeah, well, I'll be waiting for him when he gets back.
It'll be a nice surprise.
Oh, okay, go on.
See, it seems you've made some new friends, Morzog.
Made a few, lost some few.
Indeed.
Long travels will do that to people.
I know only too well. I have, Oh, there is one more person who comes through that tree. That is kind of hanging back. Because if I don't put him in here, then I will fuck all of this encounter up. So there is another person there, a man about Percy's height, with with flowing blonde hair, a single, very ostentatious golden breastplate, accompanied by a very large metal automaton that is currently holding a book in his hand.
Oh, I fucking understand.
Oh look, they got it to work.
I'm glad they got one of them to work. The other ones are shot.
Anyway, Percy kind of flows his hand over, and I would like to introduce a couple of my friends who I have brought with me today, and they've helped me with my research of the items that you seem to have left behind. This is, and the red-haired woman goes, "Hi, I'm Keyleth of the Arashari, and it's wonderful to meet you."
I do the traditional greeting in return.
As you kind of do a little bit of a bow, she goes, "You're from Vesra," and she kind of gets like really excited.
That's me.
And then the other guy pipes up, "And I'm Tyrion Darrington, and it is wonderful to meet you all. Oh, and this is Dodie." And the automaton looks up and goes, "Her, he, her," and like waves to you. "Terry." These are friends of mine who I have seen many an adventure with, and they had the skills I needed to assist me in finding information about the automaton that you had previously left behind. And I knew no better man than Terry himself, who helped build one. And is maybe there's a place we could sit and talk, and not be out in the open.
Could always go back to the inn. At least then our other party member will be able to find us.
Maybe.
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well. I guess that's.
There's an automaton sitting in front of me. There's no real reason to ask about automatons at the Lyceum when there's one literally in front of me.
Well,
The automaton you see is different from the ones you guys have fought.
yeah.
He's more of a if I had to do like a comparison in my head, the ones you have fought are like the Dwemer constructs from Skyrim, and Dodie looks like the iron giant thing from Castle in the Sky.
Yeah, Ivana doesn't care. It's metal entities that move. That's all that matters.
Okay. So, all of you collectively, I guess, turn around and start heading back toward the Laughing Lamia. Arctis, make a investigation check.
Oh boy, I'm great at those. I believe I have a negative something in that. No, I have a +1. So here we go. That is a 9 +1, so 10. Ah, there we go.
Okay. You take the time to sit down and research. Actually, roll again. Make it with advantage because the guy is there with you. Now that I think about it.
That's a lot better. That's a dirty 20.
That's better. Okay, so you are flipping through these books and you are trying to find something that matches the same like makeup of this crystal as far as like coloring and structure, and you you find obviously the most apparent one, which is opals, the gem that kind of shares its same coloration and look, but but it doesn't like it's not quite the same. Opals are kind of smoother, and this one's a little more like pointed and jagged a little bit. But what you do find is there is a section in one of the books that talk about artificial crystals, magically made, that would can be used as a like a spell focus or a type of enchanting center point.
I point this out to the monk that's with me.
Sure.
What's his name? What's your name?
My name is Brother Thomas.
Brother Thomas? Brother Thomas, could you please help me find some more information on this right here? This section that about making these crystals magically?
So he reads the section and disappears and comes back with he doesn't come back with a I don't know, like a how to grow magical crystals for dummies kind of thing. It's basically just
I have
a
some knowledge of the arcane, so there's that. I do have a little bit of knowledge of it. Now.
okay. Well, because of your level up and the things you had gained.
Clicking.
Sorry.
I've been studying and learning.
Right.
We've been traveling.
Because of your level up and the new proficiencies that you would have been able to take, I'll say this is kind of like part of getting that. So it's not something that you could Arcana check into.
Okay.
I
wasn't sure how you wanted to rule that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is something you could Arcana check into, but this is basically you kind of like gaining that knowledge.
Okay.
So you you kind of read into this this section on how there are some crystals that can be magically basically artificially grown in a similar manner to how natural crystals are grown, but it's usually just a way to get an item that will hold certain magical energies to work as a point in which someone can enchant the crystal to be then like attached to an item, basically. That will then, like weave into it being enchanted in turn, or being used as like a spell focus for like a staff, or something that would be used to help just cast spells. And given the kind of the look and feel, and comparing it to the illustrations in some of the other books and how the natural formations look, you could gather that this is probably an artificially grown crystal that you're currently reading about.
Brother Thomas, is there anyone here in town, or any place here in town, that I would be able to maybe inquire as to who could have made this?
The the only other place with a larger library than us is the Lyceum.
Where's that located?
Over in the Uradite Quarter, and he gives you the directions on how to get there. They have a rather large library, and it's no telling what you'll find in there.
And brother Thomas, do you know if the stockkeeper is busy at the moment? That's the head of the. That's what they call him, priest or priestess of the. I looked it up.
I had actually never heard that term before.
Yeah, I looked it up while I was waiting. They're called the stockkeeper.
They are currently predisposed for the day.
Okay. Thank you. You've been such a great help to me. Do you know if there's any reports of any attacks or monsters in the area? Anything that needs to be taken care of? Maybe some reports of attacks of metal creatures?
The halfling kind of runs his hand along his jaw, and kind of like, messes with his chin, and no attacks from metal creatures that I can think of. I mean, there's always jobs being handled by those who go to the Scar to try to make sure that the numbers of creatures that come from there are kept at bay while we try to search for a way to rid ourselves of it.
What's the pay on that? How is it?
I'm not.
'Cause I came here with a band of adventurers. We're looking for some work right now. Make a little coin.
I am not the.
Take care of some other business in town as well.
I am not the purveyor of those kinds of contracts. Might want to check the.
That, but I am looking. Oh.
You could check the. There are some places in the military district that have those job postings, and sometimes there are even things in certain inns that are either information passed or notices on their walls.
The military district. Which way is that from here?
It's actually the one connected to this, off to the north.
Okay. I thank you very much for your help and your information. You've been a great service here today, brother. Is there any collection or anything, a place to donate to the church?
He shows you to a like a collections bin, pretty much, and there's a few books that are kind of like just neatly stacked in there.
Okay, I go ahead and put 4 gold pieces in there.
Okay. He gives you a slight bow and thank you for your generosity.
You're very welcome, and thank you so much for your help. I hope to be able to see you guys again and maybe be able to purvey some more of your books.
We hope to see you back.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
He bows and collects the small stack of books you guys had accumulated and disappears into the shelves to go put them back.
I then go ahead and leave, and I start heading towards first, can I see about what time of day it is?
With all the walking you guys have done and the different things you have gotten to, I would say it's somewhere around midday, like probably like 1 or 2.
Then I'm going to go ahead and stop somewhere for lunch, and then head over to the military district.
Okay. For the sake of my sanity,
I'm sorry.
we'll.
You told me you wanted us to roleplay more.
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm
that's yep.
roleplaying more.
We will. You would know the places that you would know of would be the inn that you're staying at, and also kind of seeing is how you're not liking crowds
Yeah.
would drive you to go to someplace familiar. You start making your way back to the Abadar's Promenade so that you can have lunch back at the inn.
That would make sense. That sounds like something I would do. Yeah. I go ahead and go back to the inn and have lunch and then head over, because it wasn't that far of a walk from the inn to there.
Right.
Hi, buddy.
The rest of you make your way back to the inn and sit down at a table. Oh, if I could stop yawning, that'd be great.
Caffeine.
Yeah.
I miss this stuff.
Oh. All right. So, as you guys gather around a table with Percy and Keyleth and Tyrion, Dodie the automaton kind of just crouched in a corner to fit inside the room. Percy reaches into one of his inner coat pockets to produce one of the metal plates that you had, or the metal plate from the automaton that has the strange marking that you guys cannot figure out.
The
And
marking we've been showing off to half the fucking continent.
yep. So he tells you, I've poured over book and page and tome and scroll that I could find trying to look for this marking to come up short, unfortunately.
Well, you ain't done any better than we have.
But after I had come to the decision to after I had come to the decision to contact my friend Tarian here, I discovered some news that might be interesting. And he pulls out another from his one of his pockets, a one of the gears from the inside, a cog that is that has a marking on it that
Copy.
the marking on it looks like an S with two diagonal slashes through it, kind of like a dollar sign, but the lines through the middle are angled.
Mm-hmm.
And Tarian, now that is the mark of Horan Stallmast.
Kennel up.
From the information that I had gathered, he was a inventor of some sort in a place over in Wildmount. And apparently got himself into a bit of trouble and was locked in their Gearhold prison before being extracted, we'll say, and subsequently escaping. He then made his way across the mountains to speak with to speak with the Bright Queen of Gordranus, where he was employed to help them, as he promised to give them something to ensure the protection of their people. But ultimately, he faced the same issues that he had in the Empire, where his methods of experimentation were not taken well. And so, he was cast out from there too. He was left coinless and rejected, and nobody has heard from him since. But this is the first thing that I've seen of his work in some time. The town that he was holed up in was called Hupperduke. It's a small little gnomish place where they work all day and party all night.
How long before I arrived there?
Give me a minute. But yeah, this is the first time I've seen anything of his in quite some time. And nobody has seen him since he was pushed out of the Kreen dynasty.
Of course no one's seen him. Why would we have any kind of direction to go into? Like a fucking dog chasing a car.
Well,
Cart. I'll make it work.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for a place to start, Upper Duke sounds like it's it. Wouldn't you say?
I guess. What's his name again? What's this fucker's name again?
Terrian?
Not Ter. I know Terrian. The
Oh,
guy we're looking
oh.
for.
Horan Stallmast. It's HURON STAHLMAST.
How do you spell that last name again?
STAHLMAST.
And where's this town from here? Do I remember? Do I know? I don't feel like pulling up the map.
Right. So Hupperduke is
Fluffernutter.
Fluffernutter. Oh, hang on one second, damn it.
I mean, Morzog, if you want to fluffernutter, I can learn to. I can buy some explosive arrows.
We've all heard the tale of Fluffernutter.
Exactly.
It didn't work when they tried it, though.
That's because Not was drunk.
When is not drunk?
Very true.
There was one episode that she was detoxing. I remember that.
Where'd you go? There you are. Okay, so Hupperduke is from where you were. From where you are, it's across the ocean. You are currently in Taldorei. You would have to go. Damn, they're both pretty long. One way you can go is.
Well, it can't be longer than like a 4-month journey that should have taken 3 weeks, so.
One way is to go west, and you would have to go through Isilra, over Isilra, and then you would end up in the eastern side of Xhorhas. Or you could go across Taldorei and go to the western side of the Empire and have to go through the Empire to get to well, not to Xhorhas, but go through the Empire and then go north to Hupperduke.
Which one's shorter?
Well,
Which one can we, or it'd be easier to make a road to?
well, so,
Add road.
so
Transcontinental Highway.
as you guys are talking about how to get to Hupperduke, well, there's a couple of ways you can get there. One way is by sea, which you could employ a boat and take it through the Osmit, which you can see out by the port, and go around the southern tip of Taldorei and up through the Lucidian Ocean and head to Nicodranas, the port city there. You could go by skyship, but unfortunately the only skyship in Wildmount, unfortunately, is in Port Damali. Or you could wait till tomorrow.
Lean on somebody and
Or
Get some teleportation here.
you could wait till tomorrow. And my good friend Keyleth here could give you a way to get to Wild Mountain in an instant. But you would be in the ruins of Draconia. Which is along the kind of southern edge of Wildmount, kind of in a little like in between the border between Xhorhas and the Empire. So you're kind of in that middle ground, just way down south.
But that would still be faster, wouldn't it?
Well, we're cutting out in almost an entire continent, so yeah, probably.
We're
Yeah,
we're
probably.
cutting out the boat ride. So yeah.
Or the flying time, or
There is something else I wish to discuss with you.
with who? The group?
The group. And about this time, Arctis, you would be coming through the door.
He's better
Hi,
than
hello
two.
everyone. Yeah, I wasn't expecting for all of you to be back so soon.
Yeah, well, we weren't either.
Shit
Pull up a
happens.
chair. It's story time. Pull up a chair.
I pull up a chair and I signal up for the barkeep.
You know that letter you wrote this morning? You wrote it to him.
Oh, well, you should be able to pick that letter up before you leave today, I guess. I don't know.
Someone go flag down a postman.
He extends his hand out and I am Percival Frederickstein von Musil-Kowalski de Rolo III, but you can just call me Percy.
Say it faster for the people in the back, Drew. Go ahead.
That actually wasn't that fast.
Okay, but you
Tag.
no. You
There's quite the mouthful. I think I will just call you Percy. Nice to meet you. I'm Arctis.
the red-haired woman to the side of him is I'm Keyleth of the Arashari, and she kind of awkwardly shakes your hand too.
Here at Keyleth.
And
Um,
the blonde gentleman goes, and I'm Tyrion Darrington, and also shakes your hand with this big glimmering smile.
Hello, Tarrington. I have actually heard of at least a couple of you. I am a member of the Take, and I've heard some tales of your
Which
legendary revelries.
Which, as you say that, you actually do notice on Keyleth's sleeveless kind of green tunic, you do see the same scar mark on her shoulder that you have.
Because sleeves are bullshit.
Yep, because sleeves are indeed bullshit.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, as you look past Tyrion, you actually see a large kind of silver and gold-plated automaton that's just sitting in the corner with a book, just scribbling down everything that's said.
If we need to take notes in the
Well, hello,
automaton.
Tarrington. Who is your friend?
This here's Doty. He is my very best friend. Doty 3.0. And he looks up, Terry, and then looks back down at the book and keeps writing.
3.0. So this is your third version of him?
Unfortunately. And he kind of gives like a nervous smile.
Things seem to happen to your doties. fight frequently?
Well, the first one was uh, beat to death by a demon and then ripped apart by more demons
And then melted by more demons.
and then melted by more demons. And then the second one may or may not have gotten destroyed in a similar manner, and but this one's the one. This one's new and improved, and I'm and he can talk.
I would suggest maybe making them impervious to demons.
Yeah,
I'm-
that would be a good idea. Or teach him how to fight them.
I'm working on it. So after a couple of giggles out of Percy and Keyleth for Tyrion's story, Percy what what you did back in Whitestone was you most would see it as, you know, you just killed another monster that, you know, seemed to be in the vicinity, as most adventurers in the business do. But Whitestone holds a very special place for me. Those are my people. It's where I grew up. Me and the many generations before. It's the home of my sister. It's the home of my wife and my children, and will be for my children's children and their children's children's children. At least I hope. So, what you did to help was no small feat in my eyes. And the ill-gotten, or I should say the anger you would feel toward whoever made these, or the automatons themselves, is shared. You can be sure of that. And so I would like to hire you, all of you. My adventuring days are done. I am the Lord of Whitestone, and I have 2 children now, and another on the way. And I can't leave them alone. And so, for the time being, do you guys, do you have anything that you call yourselves yet?
A mistake.
Yeah, mistake. No, not yet.
Well, for the time
Yeah.
being, as far as I'm concerned, you guys, you are all temporary, honorary members of my group until such time as you have established your own roots.
So does that mean we're all members of Vox Machina now?
For a time.
Is that what? For a time?
The power. I'm gonna abuse this, just so you know.
And as such,
That is
as I am
quite the honor that you bestow upon us, sir.
as I am a retired member, I feel it is my duty to now play the customer. And so I would like to hire you all to track down the inventor of these automatons, this Horan Stallmast, and
Neat.
either capture him or kill him. I don't really think I have a preference, but anything that you find that has to deal with his creations,
Is there any differential in the pay of dead or alive upon this delivery?
No.
I wasn't sure if it paid more if you got to do the deed yourself.
Brains before he expired.
Well, I hate to break it to everybody. This is going to be a dead situation.
I am
I'm
not
still
dragging someone all the way
unhappy.
back to Whitestone.
Well, it's not that I'm not dragging someone back to Whitestone. I'm still unhappy from being fireballed, so...
This fucker called me a rat.
Any information you find on his creations, destroy it. Any of the creations that are still operational, destroy them. And
We're gonna get along great.
And again, whether he is dead or alive, I don't really care. I just want him erased from the world so that nobody else makes the same mistake that I did.
What would that be?
I mean, I I created a means to get rid of my problems all too easily. And those things that I have made has found their way into other people's hands.
So ultimately, you were responsible for this. That is what you're telling us.
Not for this. My inventions don't go this far. I've never attempted to make a automaton.
Well, obviously Terry has.
Well, once
Have you been leaking schematics, Terry?
Terry just kind of me, my
Yeah, who builds your?
You said you built yours.
Or Dodie?
I've seen the creations that or the one that you guys had fought in Whitestone, and it's nothing like mine. Dodie is one of a kind and is less
Well, third of the kind.
3 of a kind.
less mechanical and a little more magical than that.
You're telling me if I go over there and tear Dodie apart, I'm not going to find the mark?
You will find no such mark on my Dodie.
Well, I pray for your sake that is true.
Dodie 4.0?
I mean, you're the only other person we know now that has the knowledge to
Well,
put something like
I've
this
actually-
together.
More so. I spent some time at the Temple of Aida researching, and I have found a little bit of information on these crystals, and they are magically manufactured, and I was going to be heading, after speaking with you guys, to the Lyceum to do some more research and find out some more information on these so that we can get a little bit more info on automatons. Hopefully.
Well, that's where we were before we ran into these guys.
But were you guys able to discover that these crystals?
We just literally had walked in the door.
Did you find anything there?
We had just walked in the door and they showed up, so we decided to come with these guys to learn what they had.
Okay. Percy, you must have discovered this then, or there, correct? DM?
Sorry. Say that again.
Percy, did he discover that there?
The crystal, or
Like the information about the crystal and
oh,
all that?
he I discovered all this from my own personal library back at home.
Okay. So you were able to discover that. So, I'm not sure. I think the Lyceum would be a good place to try to find some more information out as far as about how these could be constructed.
So did you find out what the symbol is?
Unfortunately not. I've tried cross-referencing with symbols that I had seen before, and even certain cults and guilds that are all over Exandria, and nothing seems to match.
I also have a question, but it's really off topic.
What question?
Could we have Bippity Boppity Boop the tree to Emon in the first place?
Do what?
No, because Keyleth wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
She wanted to know if you could transfer it via plants before, or if you guys made that trip on the cart for no reason.
Oh yeah, no. Keyleth wasn't there for the whenever they first made their way.
Keyleth just transport us to what's its fucks?
Percy and Keyleth discussed that if you wanted to, you could have Keyleth use transport via plants to Wildmount, but it'll be in the ruins of Draconia because that's where she's been.
I would be fine with that. I'm not sure how the rest of the party feels,
But it'll have to be tomorrow because she has to sleep.
yeah, that's fine. I wasn't planning on leaving today. I want to go to the Lyceum with whatever's left of the afternoon. Or probably the Lyceum. There's no point going to the military district now. Back here.
Not willing to stay in the inn and wait for the children. Let them know we're leaving. We won't need information. They have to
Yeah.
show up.
Let them keep gathering information. We ever make it back around, they should have plenty. Maybe it keeps them out of trouble.
Well, if we're going to hire you, there is a talk of cost. And he reaches down into a satchel and pulls out a large brown sack and places it on the table, and you hear lots of coins.
Oh boy.
What price are you offering?
3,000 gold for the
The elimination of fuck nuts and all his work.
indeed.
That is a good sum of money for this.
Any items or treasure or additional gold that you pick up along the way is completely yours. Along with the 3,000 that I am presenting.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, I was gonna kill the motherfucker anyway. I might as well get paid to do it.
And
I'm
as
getting paid, and I get to hurt this guy.
as an added bonus, because you are honorary members of Vox Machina, you also receive our 10% discount at Gilmore's Glorious Goods.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Awesome. Is
Oh, there's a shopping episode.
Does that stack with my discount for the take?
No, because the take is not, well, fuck it, I already said it. The take is not affiliated with Gilmore's and vice versa, so it's his own, it's a different discount.
Okay. Just checking. Because there's certain places that I don't remember where. I will have to.
Well, if you don't mind, I see that our business is concluded, question mark? Or is there more you
No,
needed to talk
it'll
about?
be tomorrow morning when it's concluded.
No, that's fair.
We don't need you bamfing off, and then all of a sudden we gotta meander across the continent again. I've done that once. I'd rather not do it again.
Meander across the continent this time for him, though. I mean, was there talk of pay for this? I mean, granted, yes, we lost the card, but that was due to this man who we are now going to go and chase down, attacking us.
I think the first one was on good faith.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't there. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was not there at all. Okay. Hang on, my dog's being ridiculous.
He just wants to get out and play.
He wants to get out and eat pizza. That's what he wants to do. He wants to eat pizza because he smells it.
Well, that sounds like that sounds like my dog.
Also a question.
He's a counter surfer.
Oh, those are always fun.
What's your question?
How would one go about acquiring an abandoned tower out in the middle of these woods by this one place?
An abandoned tower?
I don't remember what the town was called.
It was in Western, among the Bramblewood.
Okay. Well, there is a tower there that means something to me, and I was wondering how one would go about purchasing or finding out if it belongs to someone still.
I mean, I would assume the Tower Zona.
No, it's dead. So,
Oh. I am sorry. Was it someone close to you?
my master.
I'm terribly sorry. As far as acquiring the tower, with it being in the Bramblewood, it probably doesn't technically belong to Western. But I assume that would probably be someone that you could start to talk to. Well,
we need to do our shopping before we leave.
I still want to go to the Lyceum and see if they know the symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of you wanted to go to the Lyceum. If you, he does tell you if you need to pick up anything or if you need to get provisions, probably do it today,
Oh yeah.
as we'll be teleporting bright and early.
Is that store here in town that we get the discount at?
Yes.
Then let's
All of you have passed by.
There's the Australian.
Steve?
Have passed by the single story,
Oh,
very
crikey, there's a manta ray.
the single story, very ostentatious building that says Gilmore's.
Well,
Apologize for that.
I say we go shopping then.
Same here.
I'm going to the Lyceum.
Of course. Let's. It's 600 gold per person, ain't it? If we're gonna split this all together, or are we just gonna do a community
I would
pool?
argue that we at least put 100 in a community pot that I've been currently maintaining anyway. And then split it, which would be 580.
That's fine.
Wait,
Do what now?
are we? Or is that assuming we're getting paid now, or do we get paid after?
Oh, he's already given you the gold.
Yeah. I'm counting that as expenses and doing
Yeah.
the job. So
Okay, so I'm confused because I was not paying attention. So I was dealing with the dog. Now, what are we doing here?
well, we're going shopping, but we effectively got paid to hunt down and kill this motherfucker.
Alright, so this is for, essentially we're getting the money ahead of time so we can get the shipment.
This is expenses, and yes,
Alright. Sounds good. So how much money did we get?
580.
apiece.
500
Here's what you had.
pieces?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, I gotta do something.
Hold on, a question. Are you doing any investing?
Bree has a question for you.
Sorry, what?
Are you mentioned the community pool. Are you doing any investing?
I've put my money in the community pool. I don't care about money. So that's why I've just been keeping it
Did you
and then
give
doing the
my-
community pool.
My part of this into the community, because you never know.
That's entirely up to you.
That way, if I'm pickpocketed somehow, whatever, I'm not losing that much money.
I'll keep it, that's fine.
I'll go ahead and put 200 gold pieces in the community pool in case we need to, start purchasing diamonds or anything like that later on. Wait, can druids revive people?
In a way, not the actual revive spell.
Oh, okay. Wait, you're not gonna bring us back to zombies, are you?
I mean, I could.
If
That would be
you,
interesting. Zombie heroes. Not saying that would be a bad campaign.
so if you brought somebody back as a zombie, plant zombie, could they later be revived the regular way?
That would be a question for the DM to see if he would allow that.
'Cause that'd be pretty.
That's an interesting. Maybe, but they couldn't. It wouldn't be revivify.
Correct.
It would be like something that's the higher level ones that like restore things.
So off the keep in case.
bring you back as a zombie to follow us around. Oh god, it's turning into Mythica. Speaking of Drew, they have that on sale at work.
What do they have?
Hold this, the 5 movie set of Mythica, Matthew Mercer's movie
Oh boy.
series. Yeah, that he's in. Yeah, they have all 5 discs there at Walmart for $12.96.
um.
It was actually pretty good.
All right. So what are we doing? We got 2 lyceums and 3 shopping.
I want to do some shopping as well, but I also want to head to the Lyceum. It just depends on how much time I've got.
It was 1 o'clock whenever you left
Yeah.
the temple. So then, however long it was supposedly take you to get from the temple to the inn, and then however long we've been talking. So around about what time is it?
Jonah's trying to get back in.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, there he is. I didn't even see you got booted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it didn't fucking boot me. It just discorded.
Yeah,
Stopped
it
fucking
happens once in a
working.
while.
Do you need caught up on anything? I didn't see when you left.
But you were about to say what happened if we could revive people after they were fungus zombies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it would have
Maybe.
maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
So yeah, so we have a so at this point now you're probably looking at around like 3:30 coming up on 4 o'clock.
So we're kind of one or the other kind of timing here.
Oh, I can just go to the Lyceum by myself, and you guys can go shopping. I mean,
There's
the
nothing
symbol
you
question will
need,
take like
nothing-
5 seconds. What is it that you wanted to know, Arctus?
I was just looking for more information on the crystals. I guess I could give you the crystal and what information that I have on them.
Okay.
And you can see about, basically just trying to find out if they know of anyone who could have grown such crystals.
Because then that way we can still do both, but then
But you also have the community pool money, so if there's something big that we need to buy for the group, I have no
Also,
idea what the DM has. Sorry, I metagamed there for a second. I'll stop.
there's the muggings going around, so you might end up having to kick some butts.
Maybe we should just stay in a large group and focus on the shopping. I mean, we got what information we needed. Other than about the freaking symbol, which we could maybe go there before we see the Lyceum if there's not enough time in the morning.
No, bright and early we're leaving.
Or really even bright and early.
Mm-hmm.
We've got just a few hours to do that.
So
As far
either
as-
you let us know what you want from the shopping, or you because I mean, the buddy system's kind of important, but
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
As far as the symbol goes, they told us it was this dude's name's Mark. I'm not gonna remember his name.
You can just call him Stallmast.
that's not the
That's-
same
I was thinking
symbol.
Horman.
yeah, it's not the same symbol. It's slightly different.
It's slightly different.
Well, one of them is a triangle with the curves going off of it, and the one that he just told us about is an S with 2 lines going through it, kind of like a money sign, but not really.
That's just like a signature.
Well, that was it, but that was the last symbol they knew of years ago, when he got kicked out of the dynasty, right?
Correct.
It was on the gear.
I mean, so stuff. Oh yeah, you said it was on the gear. I was say maybe he changed his mark, but
I think he was signing his creations.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
like
but
every artist signs their portrait somehow.
He could have brought up a student.
Do you need anything while shopping, Ilrana? Anything you need us to pick up?
Say that again.
Nope.
Okay.
Would the paladin like to escort her, as that way buddy system still while we go to the college?
So, do you need anything to?
Yeah, but on the other hand, she'll want to send the person with the community money and the person with a fuck ton of personal money, so you guys can go shopping.
I didn't say sensual. I
Why
mean,
don't I just go to, since Ilrana has the stuff, why don't I take the symbol there and the thing, and you guys all go shopping?
Because you're the one that wants to go shopping?
I don't, it doesn't matter to me.
I can do
There's
it.
not
We'll just all go shopping.
Or, I mean, or you just send the community money with us. I have no idea.
I can
There's too many
go
options.
I can go with whoever goes to the college because I can do research, that kind of thing. And then I don't think I need anything. Unless someone wants to pick me up some crossbow, some arrows or bolts or whatever.
I think we
bolts
need
if you need
potions. We need potions
But-
more than freaking anything because we don't have any healer.
I have healing.
yeah,
Technically.
yeah,
I
we're
feel
kind of okay here with healing at the moment.
Technically,
I mean, healing potions are still nice.
Yes, they're still very nice to have, but they're not a. I say we just all go shopping, but that's just me.
It's fine, we can all just go shopping.
One of these times we're gonna split the party, and the party's gonna die.
This is the first time we've split the party.
No, it is not.
no,
We just split the party.
We
Like,
split the party 3 times since being in town.
Well, I mean, this is the first time.
Oh, this is the first time we split the party.
First session we had.
We did it
that's
last
still a
session, too.
no.
and
Did we
I'm,
do it last session too? Oh, God.
yeah, and you split the party in Kymel.
We've split the party pretty much everywhere. We're just flirting with disaster. The
Roll
first
the
time
dice
we
every
split the
chance you
party.
get.
It must be nice to have a
Well, I
short-term
mean-
memory loss.
Alright. No, it's not, really. It kinda sucks.
I'll just go shopping, it's fine.
Okay. So, you all you gather up and go out of the Laughing Lamia to head toward Gilmore's, which, as you approach, it is a single-story light wood type of building with a kind of greenish gray shingled top, a big sign that says Gilmore's Glorious Goods with a symbol of a unicorn just kind of like painted onto it. The entire building is strung about with like ribbons and silks of like a deep purple and light blue that kind of crisscross into each other. And the door is propped open and is left open. And there is a kind of curtain that is there in the doorway. And as you and it's the same kind of color scheme of like the purple, the light blue, a little bit of gold beading put in. And as you start walking through the curtain, you're immediately hit with the smell of deep incense and perfume. Almost like a medieval Sephora. Getting through, you are actually now in a room that is bigger than what the outside purveys. It is
Pardon?
It is set with a series of ever burning candles, and that sit in sconces along the walls. Um, and there are multiple glass cases that reside around the around the room. There is a counter with uh, a woman sitting on the other side of it, and um, another like beaded curtain that sits off in the corner, kind of behind the counter, and then a staircase far off to your right. And as you guys walk in, you see the woman, a half-elven woman, who has red hair that kind of curls or waves, and is pulled up into a bun. She wears a very well put together, loose-sleeved robe, and is and as after seeing you, she is shutting the book that she was reading, and puts it under the counter, and goes, "Welcome to Gilmore's Glorious Goods, and if you need any help, please feel free to ask." And just kind of, expectantly watches you all.
So what's everyone looking for?
Interesting weapon.
On this, in this room, you actually do not see any weapons. No weapons or armor. The glass cases are actually kind of, some of them are filled with like necklaces or rings, and a couple of them have potion bottles that are set into, you know those foam moldings that are in like nice cases. It's kind of like that. They're set into like this nice little mold in these glass cases.
Shiny.
Now's not the time.
Is there anything particular you're looking for?
Well, could you tell me a bit about your necklaces?
Well, all of our necklaces here and our rings in this cabinet are of varying uses. We have rings of protection against certain elements, and necklaces of mind shielding. There's a couple of different elemental protections. If you go through the staircase there, we actually keep all of our weapons and armor upstairs.
Going upstairs. Thank you very much.
So you take off upstairs.
Before I
Upstairs in
go
a one-story
upstairs.
building.
They said it looked like a one-story.
Yeah, it looked like a one-story on the outside.
Do you have
Powder magic.
any specialty arrows? Maybe something a little different? And just these, and I show them what I have, which are just regular arrows.
We do have some magical arrows and bolts. They are also located upstairs with our weapons and armor.
Okay. Do you know if you have any explosive arrows?
We might have a few. Those ones are.
About to go blow all my gold just to make Fluffer another thing.
It was Zoe.
don't do that.
What? It would be nice to have a fireball right there on cue at some point.
Right.
No.
We might have a couple of explosive type arrows. We don't get those in very often.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and go upstairs and check it out. Split the party.
We're in the same store.
Well, it's in the same store. That ain't no big deal. The what kind of protection does that necklace of mind shielding offer?
The necklace of mind shielding will make it to where if there is any attack on your mental fuck it. It gives you half damage against psychic damage. I could not figure out a way to like sugarcoat
Wow,
that.
you're doing great. Interesting. I will keep that in mind.
Okay. That's different than the normal mind shielding one, because normally it also helps prevent against scrying, I believe. Tess, knock it off.
Well, it could be a different. I mean, there's a couple different ones actually.
Yeah. That's
But-
fine. I think it's the ring of mind shielding that does that.
Yeah.
Protects you against being scryed upon.
Well, I'm here to see armor and weapons as well, so. Up the stairs.
Okay. 3 of you have gone upstairs. The 2 downstairs, are you interested in anything that's downstairs?
Up the stairs.
Up the stairs. Ilrana?
Everybody else is going upstairs. Might as well go upstairs too.
But you can investigate downstairs. I mean, you don't have to.
So the upstairs takes on a little bit of a different feel to it, whereas the other one was kind of like walking into like a K jeweler, and you'd see all the glass cases full of jewelry and whatnot. When you go up here, there are mannequins over in the corner that have suits of armor that are just kind of standing at attention. There are weapon racks that sit behind a counter of that are just weapons that hang on the wall. There are also a few that sit in a couple of glass cases. You see a Arctis. You see a like a barrel or like a large quiver type apparatus sitting behind the counter that's filled with like different arrows and bolts and whatnot. There are a few other items. There's a quiver that hangs on a hook that just looks really well made. There's a couple of shields, some larger swords. I mean, it's kind of an armory in here.
Zoe.
Any daggers?
Zoe, knock it off. You do see a dagger in one of the cases that is sheathed in a rather kind of a thicker leather sheath that has like a weird kind of multi-layered pommel.
I'm gonna go. Is Lady still downstairs?
No, she is actually behind the counter. But she did not follow you up the stairs.
Okay. I'm gonna ask her about the dagger.
That is our that is a dagger of venom. It's wicked sharp and has the ability um, to poison the target that it or the poor person that you could stab. Yeah.
Authenticity.
That would be, and she takes the there. She like has a There's no like tags on these, but she pulls out like a book and starts flipping through. And she goes, "This is a 4,300 gold pieces."
Thank you very much. Do you happen to have a bargain bin?
No, we do not.
Thank you very much.
Is that is there? Uh, I mean, we have other daggers. We have simple, uh, you know, daggers of basically just dagger plus ones. Um, there are plus one daggers. There's a dagger of venom.
With a dagger plus one be?
She flips through the book again. And that is not the correct thing. That is 500 gold pieces.
I should probably do it.
Is our rich paladin looking for anything?
Oh man. I mean, honestly, the rich paladin is still kind of set.
It never hurts to ask.
It does never hurt to ask. If that dagger is 4,300 gold pieces, even a rich paladin might seem a little out of place. Here.
It's a very powerful dagger. I mean, now what's your prices on armor?
Well, depends on what kind of armor you're looking for. We have
Give me the inventory.
We have armor that protects against cold. We have simpler armors that are that just have enchantments to grant extra protection.
Oh. Before we go on,
Sure.
was that dagger at 4,300 with the 10% discount from Vox Machina?
You have not said anything about you
I
being
know.
part of Vox Machina, so that's just base price.
So that would be what, 38.70? 39.70? It does drastically change the price. Still, that's a very expensive dagger.
We don't have that kind of money yet. That's something to come back
Well,
to later on.
Yeah. But go on in your armor, sorry.
How much gold does a platinum equal before we continue? I forgot.
10.
10 gold.
10 gold.
What plat do you have, dude?
Not enough to pay for that dagger.
We're level 5 and you already got flat.
Well, technically, we
Like-
could all have plat.
We have armors that protect against other different elements, and a where'd that go? They can protect you from anything from the hottest fire to the deepest of poisons. We also have shields that can catch arrows, and one in particular that we've been trying to sell and can't really seem to, that moves on its own.
What do you mean
I
moves
can-
on its own, get up and walks off? No wonder you can't sell it.
It actually it will rotate around you to protect you from all sides, freeing up your hand.
And what are you charging for this shield?
That is 5,500 gold pieces.
You probably never sell it to that price. How long has it sat here?
It's sat here for a while, but it's a very
I
hard to
mean-
find item.
Maybe it is very hard to find, but the shield you know's better than the shield you don't. Gonna expect a shield to defend me and just randomly float around, or the one that I can control and direct towards an attack? Very interesting.
You should sell him your sword.
Actually, I'll probably sell off the scimitars, though. I have no plan to use them, and I have two that are taking up space. But what kind of two-handed weapons do you have?
Two-handed weapons. There is goddamn too many. We have this great axe, which is seen to be not very liked among giant folk.
Mm.
There is this great sword that can become cloaked in fire.
I'm sure that's a pretty penny.
Well, are you inquiring about the price?
Well, of course.
Okay.
Wouldn't want to seem rude.
Helps if I'm on the right fucking page. That is a 2,000 gold pieces.
Very interesting.
It can light on fire. It can melt the coldest ice. Keeps your immediate person kind of an aura of warmth. It has many functions, more than just lighting on fire.
I want to have her price out my greatsword.
The plus one?
Yeah. Just out of curiosity.
Okay. well. See, that'd be... She takes the great sword and kind of inspects it a little bit and has a hard time holding it in the first place. And it's very well made and doesn't look tarnished or beaten. And she flips to like one of the like back pages of her book and kind of compares, and says, "I could, if you're looking to sell it, I could probably do it for somewhere around 100 gold."
That's good to know. I thank you for your appraisal. Figured I needed to get it priced out somewhere eventually. We're all being penny pinchers here. I will hand over the scimitars though, because see what she prices them out at, and I'll go from there.
Okay.
I don't need them anymore, so.
They're just, they're not enchanted, they're
They're
just base scimitars.
No,
aren't they?
yeah, they're just the base scimitars. I think they come out to like 25 gold apiece. So.
Yeah, she'd be able to do 20 gold apiece for them.
I'll do 20 for them. They're just sitting. I don't need them, so.
Alright. So seeing as how they're not enchanted, so
Yeah.
she would give you a lower price that way that she could get them enchanted.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
fair.
so 40 gold.
Take it. Can't do those. We need potions of healing
That would be
while we're here.
that would be downstairs. And what derp speak, Andrew? Oh, what kind of just normal potions of healing, or
Well, we figured we would look at whatever variety you have and decide from there.
I'm looking for. I want to look at some arrows.
okay? She actually just passed that page. She brings the kind of like barrel of arrows forward and just shows you, they look like just well-made arrows. And these are our most basic enchantment on these particular arrows, and they are 20 gold per arrow.
Okay. What kind of enchantments are on some of these?
But just a +1. They're just a +1 arrow,
Oh,
but they are magical to overcome resistances. Also, you said something about fire arrows.
I was looking for some kind of explosive arrow.
Well, we have, and she pulls out 3 arrows that have, the tips of them have this like the very tiny little tip has this like glow, this like red glow, like somebody just stuck it in a fire, or heated it up. These are actually our explosive arrows that will go for it'd be 50 gold for, or be 75 gold for each arrow.
Okay. So I will buy 2 explosive arrows and
There it is.
50, and you said 20 each for the others?
For the, yeah. It's 75 for the fire ones or the explosive ones, and 20 for the plus ones.
So that's 510 in total.
Yes.
Is that how much that is?
Yeah, that's 360 plus 150.
Oh damn, I can't afford all that. Okay, well I mean I could. I would have
360
13
plus
gold left.
360 plus
So that would be a
150.
poor decision.
What about-
Let's do
Just take the
9 of
10%.
those. Oh yeah, the 10%.
And why would you have 10%?
We're members of Vox Machina. Honorary members.
Do you have any like proof of paperwork or?
I don't know DM, do we?
Does the bag of gold that he gave us have his insignia on it? Or the Whitestone insignia on it?
I was say because I don't think he actually gave us anything. He declared it, but I don't remember him giving us
Yeah,
anything.
he declared it, but that's it.
I mean, I guess we could summon Percy. Someone could go get him. He's still in town. He would vouch for us if you want us to drag Percy all the way down here for this.
That's actually really
I like the idea of summoning Percy. I will get a lamb.
well.
We will cut it open.
Hold on, because
Oh, wait, no, that's how we get Talisman.
that's an interesting little bit there, Kayla. So yeah, sure. As you look at the leather bag that he handed you, that's full of gold. It actually does have the Vox Machina symbol, a big VM.
I produced said pouch of gold.
You show her the symbol, and she goes, "Okay then."
So
Well,
we'll call it 460.
uh, yeah. I like how I muted my mic, but it still got picked over of Kayla's.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
So
make mine.
no matter what, I can't win.
That's the power of Kiara. She transcends silence.
So yeah, 460 will be the total for those.
Alright, well, I'm gonna probably make a poor decision and purchase that, but I think it's also a wise investment because that gives me essentially +2 to hit and 2 incendiary or explosions that we made. So, yeah.
Actually, that's fine. Also, in regards to your potions, we do have 5 regular healing potions in stock for 50 gold apiece.
Go ahead
And 2 greater healing potions for 100 gold apiece. Yes.
Well, I would. And that's before the discount, right? Correct.
That's before discount. Yes.
Well, I would be all for buying at least the 2 greater. I mean, I'll pay the 180 for them. And then the others, we can kind of, how many more do we want, kind of thing.
I don't know. I mean, it's probably a good idea to have everyone have one at least.
So it's, with the discount, it's what, 45 a piece?
Yeah.
And there's 5 of them. Yeah, I can. I mean, I could buy all 5 of them.
I
If
still
you
have
want to
rations.
buy them and then distribute it out.
Yeah.
But since you've dedicated yourself to Fluffernutter, I'm gonna need
Are you
a-
gonna get a black powder keg?
a black powder keg.
Yes.
You're gonna dedicate yourself to Fluffernutter. We might as well just.
Well, explosive arrows are gonna be useful anyways. I mean, we may run into a door that just doesn't want to open.
So you're buying all the potions?
I'll buy the 5 of them. Yeah.
Okay.
45 times 5. Go, bud.
Did you just buy all the potions?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
And I'll.
It's 225.
I wanted him to do it.
Yeah, no.
You wanted Andrew to do the math?
Shit, you're funny.
You played card games with him. You know how well this goes.
Well, here you
I
go.
do his math for him in the card.
Exactly.
Wait, where's my graders?
The graders are the bigger bottles, and the rounder ones are the normal ones. Distribute them as you see fit.
Okay, so everybody gets a normal healing potion.
Okay. So one regular.
And if you hover over them, it actually, well, the greater ones do. They tell you how much they heal for. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the potions of healing tell you 2d4 plus 2 health. And then the other ones are 4d4 plus 4.
And then do we want to give, well, Morris, you're the one that pays for him, so Mike.
But I need a barrel of black powder.
A barrel of black powder?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a large keg, but it needs to be a fairly good size.
Just like a gallon.
No, bigger. I'm thinking somewhere
What
between
do
like.
you need more gunpowder for? A gallon of gunpowder is a shit ton.
It is, but we go big.
Uh,
Where are you gonna put it?
we
We need a bag of holding.
we
I
here
can carry it.
we here at Gilmore's Glorious Goods do not carry black powder, unfortunately.
I need someone who will sell me black powder. I need a name.
I'm gonna be holding these arrows for a long time because until we get the wild.
Fuck it. I'll just go ask Persky. Percy has to have some, I'm sure.
That's no shit.
He can put me in touch with somebody. Forget all this nonsense.
Oh fucking hell!
We don't have Victor in the city though.
Yeah, we can find a way. I'll figure it out.
You hear? You need more black powder.
Exactly.
We'll make this happen.
Can't wait till that fucking happens.
Oh, just wait until we find something to use it on.
Oh boy. Anyway,
What does a bag of holding cost?
a
I
bag
think
of.
we've already found something or someone to use it on. I feel like Payback Fireball is definitely,
Oh yeah.
definitely due.
I may or may not
Fireball
have taken
this
Flaming
bitch.
Sphere for that exact reason.
So we have multiple ways to set off Fluffernutter. Just throw it at the ball of fire.
That's how the start of that fight's gonna go. We're gonna all be sneaking. We're gonna see him, and it's just gonna all of a sudden there's gonna be a rolling barrel towards him. What the fuck is that?
I will put a bag of holding at 300 gold.
Okay. I buy a bag of holding with the community gold.
You are given a brown leather bag with the with little like blue and red markings on it that somewhat resemble a content smiling face.
I guess I'll keep the bag of holding.
I mean, you might as well. It's either gonna be you or the Kinku.
I'll eventually get one. It's gonna. That's why I was asking how much they cost. Because I'll eventually get one. I'll put a lot of stuff in it.
I mean, they hold a lot. It's 500 pounds worth of things. Like, unless we fill it with gold. Do you have a bag of golding?
I thought we weren't tracking. Are we tracking the way to gold?
We.
So another question to ask.
I am
Yeah, because I have it set up to where we weren't, but I could change it.
for sake of having fun with the fucking game. I'm not tracking the weight of gold.
Okay.
Because that is some boring shit.
Yeah.
I have never ever played a video game that has ever looked at my coin purse and been like, wow, look at all your gold. Guess you're overweight now.
And wait,
I
how
have
much does the
super not
bag
left.
carry?
The bag of holding?
Bag of holding carries 500 pounds worth of things.
I beat the bag of holding, bitches. My carrying capacity is 5'10".
Interior space considerably larger, roughly 2 feet in diameter at the mouth, 4 feet deep. The bag can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding the volume of 64 cubic feet. The bag weighs 15 pounds, regardless of its contents.
And we are gonna put some strange shit in that bag.
If the bag is overloaded, pierced, or torn, it ruptures, is destroyed, its contents are scattered in the astral sea, and if the bag is turned inside out, all of its contents spill.
Troll dick wasn't that big of a deal compared to what we're gonna put in there. Could start with the severed head of a wizard.
And don't even think about trying to put that thing inside of another extra-dimensional space.
What, the severed head?
Oh, I need to ask Percy/Terry a question. I forgot.
Okay.
If we're done here.
I'm surprised Note didn't try to steal from Terry, because he's probably got some excellent items on him.
He's covered in gems.
I'm sitting next to, the paladin. I tried to go upstairs,
Oh,
but
he could
everybody
be
else went
distracted.
upstairs. Question: I have these geodes in my inventory. Can I show them to the clerk and see if she
You
take a look at
sure you show her the geodes to inquire about a price for them, and she looks at them and pulls out a weird looking little eyeglass type thing and kind of inspects them and goes, well, they are rather pretty, but are not really hard to find, as far as like their rarity, and are not are not magical. But unfortunately, we cannot take them here.
Alrighty.
If you were to maybe look into talking to a jeweler or a collector, they might be interested, but my apologies.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
For me?
Yeah, I think we're kind of content. At least I am. Everyone else okay?
Yep.
I go ahead and pull out one of the stone that I have, the robotic stone from the robot.
Oh, the crystal? Sure.
Yeah, the crystal, and I want to see what it's worth because I now know what it is.
She looks at it and it's a interesting crystal.
Yeah, it can be used in enchanting different things.
She
Some current
she pulls out that eyeglass again and is inspecting it. It's kind of roughly, not roughly like made, just not very natural looking. This is very obviously artificial. And I've only heard about this being made in, I've only heard about these being made. I've never, like, seen them very much.
Where did you hear about them being made?
Some wizards will artificially grow crystals to use as spellcasting focuses, but there are also
Any
those who
particular?
find, well, none specifically that do it as like a speciality, but
Insight check.
sure.
Insight check. Can I give him advantage by helping with that insight check?
Sure.
That's a nat 20.
Ayo.
Do you want a photo for confirmation?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh no, you went into the kitchen.
It was a nat 20 and a 3.
Doing great.
Yeah.
Advantage.
She doesn't. She isn't lying or trying to hide anything. She's just trying to give you, or she is giving you, the information that it's not, anybody's specialty. It's just, some spellcasters know how to do it, some spellcasters don't.
Okay. Would she be interested in purchasing it?
I could. They're relatively uncommon. So,
Make my money back. At least a little bit, hopefully.
I could do 70 gold for it.
70 gold?
Yeah.
Alright. I could definitely part with it for that.
Okay, that's the
Alright, she hands you 70 gold and takes a crystal. Ugh. Anything else? Everybody broke?
No, I still got plenty of cash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got money.
I got money again now. I wasn't that broke. I still have 60-something gold.
Anything else anyone wants to buy?
I think I'm good for the time being. I mean, there's some very expensive items in here to be sure, but
Oh yeah, I definitely think this place needs revisited too. Wait, is
Once
that
your guys'
2%?
your fucking guys at Motel 6 or whatever is taken off.
Yeah, exactly. We
Right.
should be checking those, and we got to figure out a way to make this operated to where they can, like, you have to put in money to be able to get into one of them.
Just make a shot like a shoot and have us say put a couple pennies in, but that'll add up. Otherwise, we'll just make a camp.
5 gold a night to get
Damn, 5 gold a night. Shit.
yeah, shit. Well, it's safety on the road, though. It's a commodity.
Do that, or you can go sleep out on the ground outside.
I've been on the
and
ground.
hope bandits or monsters don't, or banshees don't show up.
Hell,
Oh boy. I'm gonna need a new map whenever you guys decide you want to do that.
Oh, it's going to be a work in progress.
fucking new infrastructure, Motel 6s. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna bring Taldorei into the modern era.
Something like that.
I'm bringing in a steam railroad. No.
Okay, can we go back to the inn so I can ask a real quick question and then we can go and be done for today?
Yeah.
Okay. So, now acquiring new magical items, you head back to the inn to go ahead and at this point the sun is like starting to get pretty low, and the twilight colors are starting to show. You make your way back to Laughing Lamia, and Terry, Keyleth, and Percy are still around a table enjoying drinks, talking about old times.
Okay, I go ahead and sit down. Hey, Percy. Um, could we get some kind of like, I don't know, letter or note or something to inform people that we are indeed part of Vox Machina as you have deemed? And then I have another question. Or not tattoos. I mean, I already have enough. It doesn't really go with what my theme here. Anyways, other question. What does this guy look like?
Stallmast?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Terry? Terry tells you, because I didn't think to write down his description, but I have a picture of him. Nope, that's too far. Where is it? Where is it? Stallmast is a older human with kind of graying hair that's definitely bald on top, and has a handlebar mustache. And that's all I know.
Does that match the description of the dude who we saw who attacked us?
Nope.
Okay.
The man who attacked you was, he was balding too, but he had like a thin little tuft on the top. Mustache with goatee. Wasn't gray.
Okay. Did he look related to that dude?
Hard telling.
Okay, so about that note.
Sure. Then he reaches into a pouch and pulls out a piece of parchment and an ink and quill, and just begins writing. And basically just gives you a... it basically just says the holder of this note is considered an honorary member of Vox Machina and shall be treated with the benefits of such title. I lost the word I was going to use, but yeah, with all benefits and titles that go with it.
Thank you.
Hey, Lorana, can I borrow that?
Sure.
Much? Whenever we're settling down for the night, I would like to make a copy.
Nice.
Nice to have.
Oh,
Forgery, whichever.
okay.
Could she make several copies given enough time?
Black market selling copies of Vox Machina.
I was just thinking each
One for each
person
member,
top
just in
one.
case.
Mhm.
That way we would have,
I will say. Oh man. Go ahead and make a forgery check.
I don't want that weapon.
I have advantage when copying or forging objects.
So roll with advantage.
Okay, this time I rolled a 17.
Which equals out to a.
I don't know what am I looking for?
Oh. Does it not say on your next to your race what that thing is?
I thought that's just because she's a rogue.
It's just because I kicked you. It doesn't say. It just says you have advantage when copying or forging objects.
Okay, well. Oh, gee. Okay. Then I'll say do it with do it as performance.
It'd be
19. It look like whenever you finish, it looks good, looks well written, but you put it up next to Percy's, and the handwriting is noticeably different. And also you misspelled Kowalski.
Wow.
Try.
I
Can
do
always
want
try
to
again
ask
later.
Percy about the gunpowder, though.
Oh, well, I do have gunpowder with me, just not a
Yes,
lot.
Ah, see. How much?
I, not counting my pre-made, pouches for the gun. He, in his bag, he has what's basically like it's a like a think of like a barrel, like a whiskey barrel, but like the size of a large tankard. You know what I mean?
Which is typically what they would carry on a ship, anyways, for a ship or something like that. That's about right. That's gonna
It's not. It's not very big. It sits down on the table and is probably like, I don't know, a foot tall.
and it should be what color is it?
It's like a what, the barrel or the?
Yeah, the barrel.
It's just like a dark wood.
A wormwood?
Well, if he could do without it, could work in the interim.
I've got more back at home.
Oh, I figured you did.
Instead of rolling a barrel, you can eat it like a grenade.
Hey, catch! What?
And fire! Kaboom! Because I'm sure my explosive arrow, you didn't give me any damage on that.
I'll get that to you.
Yeah. yeah.
Okay. But I'm sure that's going to produce a pretty nice explosion. In combination, I'm sure we should at least be able to get a fireball off. I would hope.
So, as you guys have gathered up the necessary implements to take on this new task with your new information that you have been given, you finish out your night with food and drink and sleep, preparing for the next day, where you will be transported to the ruins of Draconia and subsequently start your journey across Wildmount to the city of Hupperduke. And that is where we will end tonight's episode.
Oh boy.
So, does this mean like we started Fluffernutter, and then now they copied us? I mean,
They're
we're
technically,
copying
yeah, I
them,
know, but we're before
but
them.
we're before them, so that means
Not's
yeah,
drunk self knew he'd heard it somewhere before. That she
yeah,
was,
pretty
you
much.
know, she'd had
So
heard
it's
that
like,
story.
I've heard of this attack. Let's use this. I call Fluffernutter.
Alright, we will reconvene next week as we start your guys' journey
Again.
on a new continent to strange new places. So,
Wait, it's only been 2 nights. Do I get a refund on the room?
It's a whole new world.
I thought you paid for 3 nights. Oh yeah,
I
you're
did.
yeah,
It's
you
only
would
been 2.
yeah, you would get a refund on the 3rd night.
Woo! Okay.
Alright. So we will pick this up next week. This has been Deck Save.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.